everyone, how's it going? For today's presentation, let's take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the 2014 Bentley Continental GT V8S with the Mulliner driving specification. And this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the GT V8. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clipping over the performance data, as well as show you a bunch of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to give a big thanks and special shout out to Bentley Charlotte, located in Charlotte, North Carolina, for providing the Continental GT V8S featured in today's in-depth review. For more information on any of the rest of their inventory, check out bentleyofcharlotte.com. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up. Let her run. The entire Continental lineup features a standard remote smart key access system, so by just keeping the key fob in your pocket, you're able to lock the vehicle via the black button on both the driver and passenger side door handle. Just tap it once. Two beeps indicate locking. Then after waiting a second, just grab the handle. There's a touch sensor behind that automatically unlocks it. And if you fail to close the door all the way, there's an electromechanical mechanism that'll automatically close the door for you. Both the front and rear windows automatically roll down slightly upon opening, so it helps clear the frame. When you close it back, it goes back up, creating a tight seal. This unique exterior color is only to the V8S and is known as Monaco Yellow. Paired with Bentley's Beluga, all-black premium diamond quilted perforated leather interior with plenty of yellow color accent stitching. Now, one of the cool things about the Continental in general is the fact that you can start the vehicle two different ways, either via the traditional ignition cylinder to the left-hand side of the dash, or, along with the smart key system, remote push-button ignition located in the center console. To start via the button, just put your foot on the brake and hold it down to go. And that twin-turbocharged 4-liter V8 automatically roars to life. Depending on if you're feeling traditional or modern, flip out the switchblade key, stick it in the dash, and flick it to the right to start this way. Simple as that. The Continental GT steering consists of a ZF speed-sensitive servotronic power-assisted rack and pinion setup. It's a hydraulic design that's been recalibrated for the V8S to deliver a bit more road feel than the standard car. The sporty 4-spoke wheel is wrapped in soft, supple leather with yellow accent stitching, aluminum across the two upper spokes with your multifunction controls, as well as grip bolsters towards the top. The standard and only gearbox available is a ZF-designed 8-speed electronically controlled automatic fed through the aluminum gear selector in the center console. For the V8S, the gearing remains the same. It also has the standard Continental Sport mode that raises the shift points for better performance, and manual shiftability via the selector down below or via the black paddles mounted behind the steering wheel. The vehicle also features a standard permanent all-wheel drive system with torsion differential and a factory-spec 40-60 split of torque between the front and rear wheels. And so, we're going to flip on the automatic bi-xenon LED accent and projector headlamps, rear fog lamps, as well as the hazards. All four windows are fully automatic and feature laminated glass. So, let's go check out the exterior, shall we? Since the first Continental GTs rolled into showrooms, Bentley has developed a number of derivatives such as the powerful Speed and Super Sports to limited editions, the drop-top GTC, and even the four-door Flying Spur. Unlike other high-end automakers in this segment, Bentley places more emphasis on performance and driver engagement than quiet isolation. Taking that into consideration, it's no doubt that they're some of the most finely crafted cars on the road, but that signature dual personality of elegance and performance is its real pedigree. Therefore, Bentley has always been recognized as the driver's alternative. Cars that would give you a sense of raw power while retaining the refined road manners of a proper GT car. Of course, this history was revitalized in a bold new way with the all-new 2004 Continental GT, which combined a potent twin-turbo W12 and sleek fastback styling. It forever changed Bentley's image of building the traditional old-world Luxo barges of yesterday. Currently in its second generation, following a refresh in 2011, Bentley is now offering an alternative, smaller displacement powerplant to the venerable W12, in the form of an all-new twin-turbocharged 4-liter V8. Co-developed with Audi and also seen in the S8, the new V8 promises much more than a slightly lower-priced Bentley. This engine, with Bentley-specific tuning and paired with the new 8-speed ZF automatic, also promises a bit of a performance advantage over the W12. While horsepower may be down slightly, it is lighter, has a better weight distribution, in addition to 40% improvement in both economy and emissions. I would actually describe the GT V8 and GTC V8s as the more fun, sportier models, not necessarily the entry model to the brawny W12. They both have their advantages as well as a special place in the lineup, but what the V8 brings is more model flavor, more choices, customization options, and even broadens the potential customer base for people who just may not prefer the 12-cylinder Continental for whatever reason that may be. This engine will migrate towards the new Flying Spur eventually. Bentley is estimating upwards of 50% of Continental sales will be for this new engine. This year, Bentley is offering a new higher output V8 variant known simply as the V8S. With 1.5 psi of additional turbo boost, horsepower increases by 21, while torque is raised by 15 pound-feet. Nothing in terms of engine tuning, brakes, or wheels has changed. Even the fuel economy remains the same. What that extra power does is shave off about 0.3 seconds to 60 and slightly increases the top speed. The S also benefits from a host of suspension revisions. For starters, ride height drops by 10mm or 0.4 inches, the springs are stiffer by 45% in front and 35% in the rear, in addition to revised damping rates. The rear anti-roll bar is 54% thicker, while the bushings on the lateral compliance links of the rear multi-link suspension are between 25 and 70% stiffer. The front wheels also get an increase in camber angle by 15 degrees. For starters, you'll notice that the V8 has a more sinister growl to it, emitting the unique figure-8 style dual exhaust outlets tucked behind a signature rear fascia. You'll also be surprised to know that the body doesn't significantly differ from the W12 models. The only thing that sets the V8 apart are the special gloss black mesh grills up front and the red flying bead logos found around the exterior. In addition to unique wheel options, the V8S also receives black lower diffusers front, back, and across the sides, said to improve aerodynamics. This begs the question, is the new V8 more of a driver's car than the W12? That really boils down to taste, but the numbers might shock you. The V8 engine is lighter than the mightier W12 by 126 pounds and is smaller in displacement by a full 2 liters. The biggest advantage is less weight over the front axle, which gives it a better weight distribution, 54.9% over the front axle versus W12's 57.6%. The GT V8 carries 12% less horsepower, 6% less torque, or 67 and 29 fewer respectively when compared to the W12. It also has a slightly lower top speed. The gap is closed even further though with the V8S. Considering the V8 starts out about 10% less than the cost of a base W12, in my eyes that's a fair trade-off for a car that's better balanced for handling with a lighter, livelier engine. This inert peppiness the V8 has with closer gearing actually makes it quicker than the W12 when paired to its previous 6-speed auto by a few tenths of a second. The twin turbos for the V8 are smaller than the ones in the W12 but put out more boost, 17 psi versus 9 psi, or 18.5 psi for the V8S. Other improvements include better thermal management, reduced drag, and 59 pounds less weight when comparing coupe models. The steering and suspension have also been retuned for a better road feel with less electronic assistance. The GT's styling features smooth lines and curves. It's based on a steel monocoque with superformed aluminum front fenders and a composite boot lid which houses radio antennas. Of course, the magic of Bentley is the bespoke options, custom tailoring the car to truly make it unique. We'll highlight those options in just a bit. There are many wheel styles available for the Continental, including these unique 21 by 9.5 inch 7-spoke alloys with machine face and dramatic-like inserts, standard on the Mulliner driving specification. Wrapped in high-performance Pirelli P0 tires, 275/35s at each corner, and are able to hold up to 0.85 G in cornering forces. As far as the brakes, standard equipment consists of ventilated 15.9 inch front and 13.2 inch rear discs, but for an additional $13,875, you can opt for the massive carbon ceramic brakes that measure 16.5 inches with 8-piston fixed calipers up front and 14-inch discs in the rear with 2-piston sliding calipers. All calipers are finished in red on V8 models. With this setup, the GT V8S can be brought to a stop from 60 miles an hour in a short 105 feet, otherwise the standard brakes are about 111 feet. As far as the suspension, the vehicle features a fully independent setup with 4 link double wishbones up front and anti-roll bar, and a trapezoidal multi-link rear, in addition to the standard adaptive air ride shocks and 4-mode driver adjustable variable dampers. Overall length is 189.2 inches with a width of 76.5 inches and a height of 55.2 inches, riding on a 108.1 inch wheelbase. Total curb weight, as you see here, is around 5,132 pounds. So we'll go ahead and pop the hood. The Continental GT V8S carries an all-aluminum, twin-turbocharged and intercooled 4-liter V8 that features direct injection, double overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, variable intake and exhaust valve timing, as well as a compression ratio of 9.3 to 1 and a 6,250 RPM redline. The V8 employs cylinder deactivation at cruising speed to turn the V8 into a V4. By shutting off 4 cylinders on demand, it also saves in fuel use. So seamless the driver isn't likely to even know it's happening. There's also an alternator-based energy regeneration system. Total horsepower output for the application is 521 at 6,000 RPM and 502 pound-feet of torque at a relatively low 1,700 RPM. This translates to 0 to 60 times around 4 seconds, with quarter-mile times around 12.4 seconds at 113 miles an hour. Top speed is drag limited to 192 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, with a 24-gallon tank running on premium fuel, expect EPA estimates to range between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. That makes for an impressive driving range of over 500 miles to a tank depending on your driving style. On V8S models, you have the option of 17 standard exterior colors, 10 more than the regular V8. Kingfisher Blue and Monaco Yellow are unique to the V8S. Additionally, there's 123 optional colors, or if that's not enough, you can even create your own color. Inside, there are 4 standard interior colors, with an extra 13 being optional, and 4 headlining colors, with the optional color accent stripe in the V8S equipped with a colored interior. There's only one standard wood choice for the V8, finished in 18 coats of hand-sanded lacquer, while there are 7 additional options including carbon fiber. For a truly tailored feeling, the optional Mulliner driving specification adds unique wheels, diamond-quilted leather, drilled sport pedals, and a jeweled fuel filler cap. The seats are fully electric with adjustable thigh support, 3-person memory, 4-way power lumbar adjustment, as well as a massaging feature. Of course, like in any Bentley, the attention to detail is absolutely phenomenal with the double stitching and Bentley Flying B logo stitched into each headrest. The diamond-quilted perforated leather provide nice ventilation for both the heating and cooling functions and also look quite refined. And it goes without saying, but the build quality inside is absolutely spectacular. Everything that you see is genuine, from the metals to the polished trim to the wood veneers and even the leather. It just cocoons you in a wealth of comfort for a very relaxed feeling environment. The steering wheel is power tilt telescoping with an auto tilt feature and a full leather headliner. So let's go ahead and see if she sounds. So let's go ahead and shut her up. Upon closing the door, a mechanical arm automatically swings out to help bring the seatbelt towards you within easy reach. The Continental comes standard with a 440-watt, 8-speaker premium audio system with a 6-disc in-dash CD changer, standard satellite radio, and iPod integration, not to mention Bluetooth hands-free telephone. As an additional option, you can also opt for the bespoke 1100-watt name audio system, all routed through an 8-inch mobile media navigation telemetrics touchscreen interface. The interface is pretty self-explanatory, but I have gone in-depth with the 2014 Bentley Flying Spur on the features and functionality. For more information, click the link in the description box below. Like I said a second ago, the entire headliner, including the A-pillars, is all wrapped in leather, whereas you have a perforated pattern up top. Grip handles, leather-lined visors with illuminated vanity mirrors. You have an auto-dimming UV mirror, and in the top stack, the majority of which is highlighted by black piano veneer, but it also has some stitched leather accenting towards the bottom here. The repositioned garage home link, your interior illumination, as well as reading lamps. A smooth center section of leather highlights the middle portion of the roof into the back where you have your rear illumination. Definitely my favorite aspect of the Continental's interior is the way the dash is formed. Each slender piece flows around, curving, highlighting the center console as it traipses into the rear, separated by middle portions that also extend all the way to the back. Black piano veneer highlights the entire center stack with plenty of aluminum brightwork. Up top, your traditional air vents with your organ stop registers. Push it in to close it, pull them out to let them open. And a classic Breitling clock sitting right in the middle. Down below is your standard dual-zone electronic automatic climate control with independent temperature adjustment, one-touch automatic for either side, as well as independent zone adjustment. Fan speed in the middle, front and rear defrost, as well as automatic recycling through an air filtration system. Bit of storage down beneath, electronic parking brake, your power mirror switch with power folding function. Stack here, aside from your engine start and hazard switch, includes your 3-stage heated and ventilated seats, which are an option, as well as the adaptive dampers, raising and lowering the rear spoiler, as well as raising the ride height. When hitting the damper switch, you can choose between comfort and sport with various degrees. And it also shows your ride height if you want it normal or high. 2 adjustable cup holders, leather-lined center console, with a pretty good amount of storage space overall. Lined in felt, 12-volt power outlet, and LED illumination. As far as the steering wheel, on the left-hand side you have your cruise control and heated steering wheel activation. And on the right-hand side you have your radio controls, driver info controls, hands-free telephone, and voice commands. Help.
Important voice commands for the CD are next title, previous title, or select title.
So you can control a lot of the aspects of the multimedia system through the voice recognition system. In between the gauge pod, the little digital display highlights your driver information system. Using the little toggle wheel, you can go between different menus and sub-menus. Fuel data, speed warnings, digitalized speedometer, and more. Audio, navigation, telephone, and all of your personalizable options. To the right-hand side is your trip computer activation, traction control, and parking sensor activation. But in a nutshell, those are all the basic features of the Continental GT's interior. So, let's go ahead and power her down. And we'll check out the back seat real quick. Gaining access to the back seat is a cinch. Just grab this aluminum handle, bring it forward, and the seat automatically slides itself. You can also slide it manually via these automatic buttons here. And while it is a rather tight back seat, the seats have a lot of definition to them, a lot of side bolstering, the diamond quilted leather. So the quality and refinement definitely isn't shortchanged for rear passengers. As an optional extra, the Continental GT can also be had with a full power trunk lid. Open it up and you'll find around 12.6 cubic feet of cargo space lined in deep pile carpet and subtle aluminum trim. You do have some cargo tie downs, and the opening is nice and wide without too many curves or anything like that would impede cargo space in any way. It's also LED illuminated. The passenger seat also features the same power adjustments that you find on the driver's seat. Down below, the glove box is also locking, padded, lined in felt, and you have your CD changer up top as well as iPod integration. With the V8's promise of lively performance, a unique sound, and a lower price, it may be just the thing to attract new buyers to the Continental. Pair that with the higher output V8S and you have a rather cool, quite refined GT car that not only can be luxurious, but fun to drive. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2014 Bentley Continental GT V8S. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.